All right, now that Christy's been sitting here waiting for me forever, we're gonna get right into it because today we got tons of fun for you. Specifically, that chicken pot pie. Ooh, that was a mess, but that's okay. And we have pound cake. We're gonna talk today about the bulk spices and what a pain in the butt that's been and how we're gonna tackle that and move forward in a way that she doesn't lose her mind, I don't make a mess, and the kids actually get some food.
And we're gonna pickle some beets, which I'm super excited about.
And we're also gonna be talking about what it means to feed your family well. This is something that's really important to us here, and we are encouraging everybody to take a stand against the shortcuts that the world wants to bring you.
That hurt your health, essentially.
Yes, what she said.
Yeah.
We made pie crust this morning, a couple little kids helped, we made a big mess, and let's get started with making some pound cake.
All right, I have Lyndon here with me to help make some pound cake. This is one of those things that way back in the day I used to get from the grocery store or Costco, and I don't know, there's something about pound cake that's just so delicious, especially in the winter. We're gonna get started. You wanna preheat the oven to 350?
Yep.
This recipe is in the December recipe pack on page 51. Fortunately, one thing we did not do last night was soften our butter. Thankfully, I have a trick for you on how to get softened butter without making it like melted. Usually we're not softening this much butter all at once, but since we've got 2 full cups, we do a half cup in each jar. We're just gonna let each jar fill up with hot water. So we're gonna stand the sticks of butter up in the bowl, and then I'm gonna take this glass that's been heated with hot water, I'm gonna put it over it without the water. So although this is a fun trick and all, I highly recommend just softening your butter the night before because it's so much easier and it wastes so fewer dishes. All right, so this is one of the sticks that has been softened twice. As you can see, it is
Very soft. Awesome.
There's a little bit of warmth in the inside, but
Not a lot.
totally okay. And this is the one that we only put the jar on once. And I'm not sure if you can tell, but it's a lot harder to cut into. We're right here. We're just gonna cream the butter for a minute before we add the sugar. All right, we're gonna add 3 cups of sugar. Technically, pound cake is supposed to be like a pound of butter, a pound of sugar, a pound of flour, and then the eggs.
Oh, that's a lot.
Okay. Add the vanilla, eggs.
Wait, can I put it down?
You can add the vanilla.
Okay. Two.
Whoa, hold on. Just hold on. 1 teaspoon of salt. We're also gonna do a teaspoon of baking powder. Are you someone who mixes your dry ingredients separately and then puts them in together? Because I never have. Like, even since when I was a kid, I always just throw like the salt and the baking soda and baking powder and whatever else in with the liquid, and then I add my flour. Lastly, we earlier ground some soft white wheat, and we're gonna do 3 cups.
3.
And I'm going to turn this on slowly so that we don't have flour going everywhere. It got it right there. This is gonna go right into the pans that need to get greased. I would technically use 2 1.5 bread pans, but this is a single bread pan, so I'm probably gonna use 2 of these. All right, I lied. 2 normal sized bread pans I think would have been just fine. This is trouble.
It is.
We're gonna throw it in the oven for an hour. Let's talk about bulk seasonings for a minute, because this is something that we have struggled through for the last 10 years.
Ever since ever. No, since ever. No, not ever.
Herbs, spices, seasonings have always been a pain point. When we moved to bulk seasoning about 10 plus years ago, this is the stuff that's frustrating because I definitely don't need 2 whole pounds of oregano.
It got worse.
It got worse.
It's such a mess. And there always appeared like there was no good way to deal with it.
It's hard to keep track of what you have. I can't tell you how many times I've ordered way too many of what we don't need and none of what we do.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We need a good system.
And let's not forget when you have to refill something. Oh my goodness. You have this big bag, you cut it open, and then sometimes the bag doesn't have the ability to be resealed because you cut it wrong or at the wrong angle, and then you
or sometimes you just don't reseal it because
you can just put it back. Yeah, like you open up the pantry and there'd be random bags of open herbs or
that come
seasonings.
flying out at you.
And if one falls over,
honestly, it's been miserable. It almost made me want to go back to using the little bottles that you buy at the store. But there's no way, because in our family that would be way too expensive.
especially when they're tiny.
So we moved to bulk seasonings mainly for the cost savings.
This also means that we ditched buying the pre-made seasonings.
So we have a lot of reasons why we stopped buying the seasoning mixes. Number one, because it limited the SKUs. And when you're trying to keep track of everything that you're buying for an entire year, having a smaller number of SKUs is way easier to keep track of.
But let's talk about the main reason why we did this, because inside of all these pre-made seasonings are hidden ingredients that aren't good for you or your family, preservatives, extra sugars, and
who knows what else.
What else? It says other ingredients.
We make all of our seasoning mixes from scratch, and I'm actually really excited to be able to share that with you. We have put together a seasoning mix recipe card set. We've got 20 plus of our favorites. Seasoning mixes in here.
Tacos.
Tacos?
Taco seasoning.
I will include a link in the description where you can grab these.
The fantastic thing about these recipes is that they're easy to make and they all make the same amount of volume.
Each one of these recipes fits in a pint jar, and it's super easy to double the recipe so it fits in a quart, or to have it and it fits in a pint. So our plan is to take our bulk seasoning system and revamp that totally and implement something that is very similar to what we do with the rest of our bulk food storage.
Yeah, the grains and beans and such. If you haven't seen the video on how we stored all of our bulk grains and food, check out that video. The link will be in the description.
And we will share with you how it all turns out in the next video, which happens to also be our Azure haul. This is this disaster of a pound cake that we made. The other thing that I thought of is that I think the butter was not soft enough, and it was not fluffy enough, and it didn't cream well enough. So we're gonna have to make this again and actually do things the right way. Our children do think that it is delicious. So let's see what Mimi has to say.
Mimi's gonna taste it.
There's a piece that's right there, and then I'll cut up some more as well.
Oh, good.
Just
It's
don't
not like pound cake, but it is good.
It's not at all like pound cake, but it's like caramelized. So good. I need to stop eating it.
Harper's gonna help me with the chicken pot pie. She was kind enough, and Breslin, and Mimi, or she's gonna leave, I don't know.
Mimi's doing laundry.
Mimi's gonna just eat some pound cake. That's not pound cake.
I want to call it caramelized butter cake.
Yep. Harper chopped up all the veggies, minus the onions.
Except for the onion.
Breslin, you wanna open up the butter and cut it in half?
I'm cutting it first.
That's quite the knife for a
Yeah,
little girl.
no kidding, that's what I was thinking.
Get it, Leslie.
Breslin. There.
Preheat the oven to 370. Alright, the veggies are going in the pot. We're gonna get a half cup of the ground wheat. Kevin was nice enough to cook some chicken for us this morning. All right, so our veggies got cooked a little bit more than I had anticipated. While I was over there taking a power nap, we added the flour, stirred this in. Now we're gonna add our peas, 1 cup of peas that Harbor is getting. And we're supposed to do 6 cups of chicken, but we're actually gonna do 8 because that's what we ended up with. So 3 whole chickens gave us 8 cups of meat, minus 2 whole legs that Kevin ate while he was shredding.
Did not. It's right there for later.
All right, so we're gonna add our homemade chicken stock. Stir till thickened. I just put it in there and it's pretty thick. That extra 2 cups of chicken. Thickened.
The chicken thickened it?
So while that is cooking down, we are going to just measure out all of our herbs and spices. So we're gonna add our herbs and spices here.
It's gonna start sticking.
Hold on.
It's sticking.
It's good. Is it going up the side?
I just need to go this way. Okay, ready?
Sure, why not?
I think you should have got that more. Oh, wait a minute.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, up.
Oh my goodness.
Today's cooking was a total flop. This is the most beautiful chicken pot pie you will ever see in your life.
Mom, you are
I know I am.
Bake at 375 till done.
Alright, so I guess we're gonna see how that turns out.
Okay, moving forward on this channel, we're going to be spending more time sharing our goal of how we feed our family well and how we're working towards that.
Now, we understand that feeding your family well means very different things to many different people. So we're going to take just a minute here to talk about what it means to us.
Okay, first off, our goal is to feed our family real food. Food that actually has nutritional value to it.
One of the ways that we talk about this a lot in our family is that we want nourishing food and not dead food.
Dead food.
But we also follow a bit of an 80-20, 90-10 sliding
30,
scale.
Christmas. No, we're not going to scale that. Which means that we're going to allow ourselves to have some flexibility and the occasional cheat meal in there.
Yes.
Keep things interesting.
We also recognize that there are seasons of life. And one of the ways that our family kind of goes through this fluctuation is if we feel like we need to put the whole family on a sugar fast, we do. Sometimes we'll go no grains, sometimes we'll do no sugar, sometimes no dairy.
Yeah.
Whatever we feel our family needs
at that time.
in that season.
Yeah. And to keep things interesting, we want to add a lot of variety, not just in the color of the food, but what we're eating, not just plain chicken and rice, which I'm okay with.
Kevin could probably eat the same thing every day
like
for the rest of his life.
It's totally.
And if I eat the same thing for too long, I will
Not eat it
hit a
ever
point
again.
where I'm like, I'm done.
Yes.
And I will go 5 years before I can touch it again.
So that's why we want to make sure that we're adding in variety to our diet, the menu, and what people are eating, especially this one.
We do our best to buy as much as we can organic or organically grown principles. I'm not too concerned about the certification aspect of that. We also try to limit or totally remove any processed grains. So no flours, no breads, no
rolls.
items made with flour. We try and mill all of our grains at home.
This also includes pasture-raised meats and raw whole dairy.
We also try to incorporate as many ferments and nutritional probiotics into our diet as well.
So if you've gotten any of the recipe packs over the last few months, you will find that most of the recipes in here will follow these principles.
The second aspect of feeding our family well is that we have sustainable food systems.
Okay, this is super important because without a sustainable food system, no one knows what's for dinner.
So this means that the way we feed our family needs to be low stress.
It needs to be simple.
It needs to involve having a plan.
Having an emergency plan.
It involves having quick solutions when necessary.
What does that mean? Like pizza?
No, like frozen and canned food.
Canned food. And it's important to have a backup of a backup plan, because if you don't have a backup plan for the backup plan, then, well, nobody eats.
We also believe that it's important to be able to hedge against things like inflation and low stock issues.
And lastly, it includes lots of margin.
One of the tools that helps us in building our sustainable food system is the grocery guidebook. We have this available as a free download that you can grab using the link in the description below. This makes keeping track of what we need to buy easy. And when it comes time to place our Azure standard order, our Instacart order, our Thrive Market order, our Amazon subscribe and save order, it's super simple and doesn't require much time or brain power. Now, we also do follow a weekly and monthly food system that we're going to be sharing in a little bit more detail in the next 2 videos.
All right, the third aspect is the really fun one, because this keeps everything moving together. It's the family-focused food systems.
So what this means is that we involve our kids in as many ways as possible in each part of our food system.
This means we're spending a lot of time training our kids to cook, do chores, and the importance about nutrition.
We're also training them on how to actually manage some of these food systems and walking with them to help them learn how to make good choices along the way.
And of course, prioritizing that family table, making sure we're all spending time together. It may not be all glamorous. Sometimes a lot of people ends up going to the corner or storming away because things don't work out, but it's real, and we're building that culture of our family at the table.
And it is something that we try and do a minimum of 12 to 14 times a week,
Yep.
where we're sitting down together as a family to eat a meal.
Yeah. You've probably noticed in a lot of our videos, we try to include our children in most, if not all, of the aspects of our food systems. Although this can take a bit or a lot more time up front, it pays off in the end because, number one, they leave the home with a better skill set in the kitchen than most.
And number 2, they are incredibly helpful in the kitchen for those last few years that they're at home.
Now it's time to go make some pickled beets. I'm cutting all the greens off. Save those for something later.
Frying.
Frying them up. Fried beet greens. So I've got my bunch of beets that came out of the garden. I packaged them up in this plastic, and I put this USDA twisty tie on there. I put the barcode and everything just to make sure that I know that it's beets. So cut these off at about 1 inch. I'm gonna let this boil for about 40 minutes. Beets stain everything, so beet careful. I'm excited about this chicken broth I'm cooking over there. I'm thinking that's gonna be an interesting little
Experiment.
Oh no, now I have beet juice on my foot.
Yeah.
Yep. Alright, so ready for this? Making pickled beets.
No way. I was thinking about those the other day.
I actually had this on the schedule like
a while ago.
Okay, so did you
Doesn't
boil
melt
them
important. Yep.
Yep.
They're boiling
instead
right
of
now.
baking them?
Yep.
no, I boiled them, and then you peel them, and then you boil them some more. So when you boil the beets and throw them in this cold water, I'm just using the back of the knife, and the skin comes right off. Super easy.
All right. Beets.
It's what's for dinner. All right, so while I'm continuing to cut up beets, Harbor is getting the liquid ready for them to get boiled in. She's got the apple cider vinegar, water, and seasonings and sugar.
Sugar, cinnamon, and salt. And now I'm adding the allspice. The allspice?
Yes.
It's really cool when you add it. Watch. It makes it gets it kind of
Oh, yeah. It makes it go away.
Yeah. It's salad time. We're gonna cut up all the lettuce, put some walnuts in salad, an apple, and creamy
Do you have a
white wine vinaigrette. The house smells like vinegar and beets and chicken. Hold on a second.
The beets are gonna go in the pot.
Wait, that's how you do that?
Been boiling for a while.
No, it says to boil that for 15 minutes.
You ain't got enough liquid.
So apparently today's just the day that we do everything wrong. And I don't know what I was thinking. So many pickling recipes, you put the stuff in the liquid, and I wasn't supposed to do that here. So I am now immediately removing the beets. They'll be fun with water.
I know there will be. Do we need something at the bottom?
Yes, the rack. Thank you. I'm telling you, do everything wrong day.
This is like the third thing I've asked.
Oh my goodness.
What I've asked? What?
Oh. Papa's rack is in.
Alright, chicken pot pie. Let's see what it looks like. Oh no, it looks like it's Aiden. Just kidding, here we go! Chicken pot pie! It's finally here! The moment we've all been waiting for. It's a disaster. Stop. Oh no, it's just...
Is it still warm?
Spatula.
What is that?
We've officially graduated to winter colors. Winter. Goodbye, Christmas.
All right, it's a moment of truth. We've got this chicken pot pie, and we're gonna actually feed it to everybody and see how it works out.
You're saying that.
So I'm gonna say the chicken pot pie was a hit. It might not have been beautiful, but it was delicious. Those of us who generally eat all of our food ate all of it. So, all right, so we've got our fermented garlic that has been fermenting for over a month. But
Larry Moe and Curly Joe.
I'm going to take this one.
Hey, you're passing it the wrong direction now, lady. Yes, it's still going. Oh.
Just take it. No, just try it.
I want one.
Yum.
Are they good?
The baby likes the garlic. Well, that's not surprising. Give me cream garlic
How
this
are
whole
they
pregnancy.
compared to the last time?
So, what are the herbs that are in there? I can't remember. Is there?
I think there's a clove.
There's a clove. That one that I just had a huge, like a massive taste of clove.
Well, I see
Did
one.
yours?
It has a master taste of something.
Well,
There's
it is
bay
garlic.
leaves. Way too many cloves in here.
Whoa!
I don't think it's not the fermenting though. I think it's the cloves. I think the cloves need to come out.
For a second there, I got really hot.
Ate your food.
And now after eating this, I'm like really
Thing,
cold.
I'm gonna like right
do you
here
think?
under my chair.
Like my mouth is numb from the clove.
Mine is. My tongue is numb.
The clove didn't do too much to the flavoring on the first time that we tried it a week or two ago. But the clove at a month is,
You have to finish it all.
that's
Zing.
strong.
Let's check in after dinner with the healing winter salve.
Harbor is going to get started on the healing winter salve. We're going to take the herbs and throw them in a quart jar along with some coconut oil and let that sit in a crock pot with some water in it, so it's kind of like a double broiler.
I'm putting 2 cups of coconut oil into here, and then after I put the coconut oil in, I'm gonna add all of these herbs that are right here.
Mom, I like it.
Idea.
I'm gonna put this in the water.
I am super excited for the next few videos coming out. You guys have fun stuff.
We are going to be sharing the rest of our spice cabinet organization journey, along with taking care of our bulk herbs and spices.
Yes, that, oh my goodness. Cooking has become much more enjoyable. The kitchen has become much more enjoyable.
Yes, it has.
Christy has become much more. We got the Azure haul coming up.
And we're going to be sharing more about that weekly and monthly food system that we follow and how we organize our food system to feed our family of 11.
When it's ready, we'll post that next video here. Over there. Over there? Oh, there it is. Okay. But in the meantime, over there, go check out the journey of organizing the spicy cabinet.
Over there.
You guys want to see what it looks like? Fine, just come here. Check this out. Just kidding.